Okay, so I know that the Frieren ship has long sailed and that I'm late to the party, but get this, Frieren is good. Alright, context time. So basically I've been off the map for the last 2 years on my own little personal journey, and during that time I was on like a total media detox. No TV, games, movies, nothing. We'll say I touched some grass. So when I got back, I felt like a little goo goo gaga baby anime fan again, and I had no idea what was happening in the industry. I started asking around and all I heard were whispers of a new king of anime. It couldn't be, I thought to myself. There's no way my glorious king has been dethroned. So I decided to check the arbiter of all truth and opinion, my anime list. I flipped to the top anime tab and there it was, a new king of anime. I couldn't believe it. Was this one season really the greatest anime of all time? Or do anime fans just really like elf girls? I had no choice but to put it to the test. I binged the whole series and my answer is now a definitive, well, keep watching. I've never really been the biggest fan of the fantasy genre, especially in anime, now that it's just turned into isekai power fantasy that follows the same chosen one who must kill the demon king story trope. You're our only hope, vending machine-kun. But in Frieren, that demon king is already dead, and Himmel, the hero, and his party have already won. The first episode features the end of their travels, together speculating about the future and what would become of their lives after such great accomplishment. After their decade-long quest together, the group joke and bicker like family, this journey being the obvious highlight of their well-lived lives. Except for Frieren, the mage, and an elf whose lifespan stretches thousands of years. To her, this 10-year journey was yet a small step in her expansive path of life. As the episode continues and time passes, she comes to understand the harsh reality of time, watching as everyone she cares about is washed away by its river. Frieren is left wishing she spent more time cherishing those she loved. Everything about Frieren's first episode is gorgeous. The animation is incredibly fluid, the music perfectly captures the emotions on screen, and the pacing is just fast enough to keep you intrigued while also savoring each moment. All these elements drew me in, making me instantly click that next episode button. But from there, everything seemed to slow down. Frieren returns to her routine of collecting spells, a new yet directionless journey. She pays a visit to an old friend, but ends up staying with him for 4 years training an apprentice, Fern. 4 years. That's like the last time I made a video. There seems to be no central conflict driving Frieren forward, and the time passing means almost nothing to her. The story had me, like Fern, beginning to grow impatient with Frieren's aimless travels. I couldn't see what the purpose was, or where the story was heading. That is, until the pair finally met Stark. Going into it, I thought that Stark would be the typical Zenitsu type crybaby coward trope, but he's actually like the best character in the entire show. The apprentice of one of Frieren's old companions, Stark is a powerful warrior who lacks confidence in his own abilities. As a child, when his warrior village was attacked, he was the only one who fled, leaving the rest of the village to die. He's a coward and a disgrace to his community, labels that unendingly haunt him. In the village where he now resides, Stark is sought out by Frieren to help defeat a dragon that has terrorized the people for years. While once upon a time Stark mustered up the courage to face the dragon, for 3 years now he's avoided fighting it, still frightened by their first encounter. He's praised as a hero by the locals, yet deep down he still can't overcome his cowardly past. Stark denies Frieren's proposal, breaking down into hysterics, but Frieren refuses to let him off the hook. She chooses to believe in Stark's power, and through her and Fern's convincing, he finally finds the resolve to stand and fight like the hero the villagers believe him to be. Stark trembles at the sight of the dragon, but still moves forward, showing that fear is nothing to be ashamed of, and how in its shadow is where bravery truly shines. Subsequently, Stark proceeds to absolutely punk the dragon, and we get this crazy animation sequence. But really, the outcome doesn't matter. Either way, Stark is a hero. The reward that they end up collecting basically has nothing to do with Frieren's journey, but by this point, I was no longer frustrated by the lack of progression. I came to understand that this is a story strictly about its characters and their connections. While at the beginning of her journey, Frieren struggles to understand other sentiments around the time they spend together, she later learns to value connection. We can see this happening as the series progresses through tiny moments, like Frieren and Fern watching the sunset together, the party sharing a birthday meal, and Frieren and Stark taking care of a sick Fern. Although the progress on their physical journey at times feels stagnant, the emotional journey is constantly progressing. When the final credits to season 1 rolled, I found myself staring blankly at the screen, yearning for the series to continue. To give some context and get real for a second, I finished the series at a time of great change in my life. In just a few years, I had moved multiple times, switching between countries and languages in the process, and had met more new people and said farewell to more others than ever before. I wouldn't say that I was lost, more so that I was in a time of great reflection, thinking about what came next and how my life would continue. So, in a way I wasn't expecting, I found a connection to this series, and Himmel's final words sunk deep into my heart. It felt like they perfectly articulated what I, with my jumbled memory of experiences, had been trying to make sense of. While the farewells will inevitably come, Frieren is a story about appreciating the connections we make with others, as well as how they shape us. Time stops for no one, people will come and go, and so we should savor the here and now, and when it passes, be grateful it happened. Frieren is a series that stops to smell the roses. It lingers on the crisp mountain streams, vast valley overlooks, and luscious sunsets. And I think that's why it ended up becoming like my ultimate comfort show. I found myself rewatching it just weeks later, something that I almost never do, and listening to the soundtrack to relax after a long day. The series began to feel like a warm cup of hot chocolate on a cold winter morning, warming my soul in just the right way. And I think that's really special, that a show could reach me like that. So now, to answer my question at the beginning of the video, can I say that Frieren is the definitive greatest anime of all time? Probably not. It still feels like we only have the foundation of a great story. The tournament arc was great, and I'm always down for a classic shonen style rumble, but in the end, what was really accomplished? They can now go to the north and wash their clothes more efficiently. Obviously, a lot of the arc was just meant for character development and to expand the world, but still. The humor is definitely hit or miss, with quite a few misses, and because of the lack of high stakes, the pacing still feels like it drags a bit much at times. Many of the side characters still feel flat and haven't received their shot at development yet. But do all these criticisms matter to me in the face of the connection I felt with the series? No, not at all. I see that a lot of the online discourse in the anime community is around trying to rank things in some objective way. Like how if you can prove a show that you like is objectively good, it will somehow make you better than other people, or prove that you have elite taste. I was scrolling reels recently, as you do when procrastinating work, and came across this reel of a guy saying that
your opinion on anime isn't valid till you've cleared 500 series.
Now, this is likely satire, and if not, then someone please help this man, but I think it demonstrates the extreme of this objective-based style of thinking. Everything you see online is people tearing others down for their opinions, believing that they somehow know better. Art is completely subjective. Remember back in elementary school art class when you were still eating crayons, and then the teacher had the audacity to ask you what a painting that looked like this meant? I still have no idea what is going on here. But does that mean it's a bad painting? No. I just don't connect with it in the same way that someone else might. The shows and movies we consume today are just like that painting. A bunch of pictures moving around on a screen. Sure, you can have favorites, but you wouldn't go walking around an art museum saying that one painting is objectively better than another, even if you were an art expert. So it is silly that we try to do the same thing with other forms of media. What matters is personal impact. If a show helped someone, taught them something, or if it gave them comfort, that's what matters. We'll never fully understand someone else's connection to something because we haven't had their same life experiences. So even if a show has its issues, if it means something to someone, that's amazing. Of course, that doesn't mean that a show is beyond criticism, and it's always valid to talk about the ways that something could be improved, but trying to rank it based on some objective score is pretty pointless. So yeah, I don't think that Frieren is the definitive greatest anime of all time, but from a more realistic lens, I think it's impossible for anything to be. While I don't think it's perfect, Frieren's message of learning to value connections came to me at the perfect time in my life, and left a deep impact. Something it seemed to do for a lot of people. And the fact that art can do that, the fact that something someone made can spark so much emotion in so many people, is really freaking cool. What's up, y'all? So just some post-vid notes here. So I actually wrote this script before season 2 finished airing, and dude, it is so good. A lot of people complain about the beginning being a little bit slow, which I get, but like I said in the video, that's kind of the point. And all the little interactions and the time we spend with the cast has been so great. Also, the animation is just like insane. It is genuinely crazy to me how good this show looks. I have no idea what's going to happen in season 3, but from the cliffhanger ending and what I've heard from the manga readers, it might be better than anything we've seen yet, so I'm hyped. Also, yeah, I'm back to making videos. I took a break for a few years because I was busy with other endeavors, but I'm trying to get things back on track, and you should see more videos from the channel this year. I have a bunch of new ideas for the channel, and so hopefully you'll stick around to support. If you like my videos, please leave a like and share it with your friends. It helps me out a bunch, especially now that I'm trying to gain momentum again. Also, leave a comment about what you'd like to see from the channel moving forward, and I'll take them all into consideration. Anyways, I just want to thank you again for all the support and kind messages over the past couple of years, and see ya!